Okay, so we just finished reading The Royal Breakfast. And in that text, in that chapter, there was a character that we met who was the Queen's butler, and his name was Mr. Tibbs. And he needed to find a way to serve the BFG, who was a 20-foot tall giant. 24-foot tall giant. And so he wasn't going to fit in the dining room, so they had breakfast in the ballroom, which is a really big room with a high ceiling that people usually use to dance in. But they had breakfast in there because it was the only place that the BFG could go. Now, as this butler was having to calculate the amount of food to give the BFG, he decided to use a calculation. And we're going to do that calculation right here on my whiteboard. So if you don't have a piece of paper, I'd like you to go get one. Go get a piece of paper and a pencil. Feel free to pause the video if you need to, and then come back, okay? Okay, hopefully you can see this pretty well. The question is, how much food would you have to feed the BFG? Now, I've got my book. You'll need your book as well. So you'll need your book and a piece of paper and a pencil, and you are going to turn to the Royal Breakfast. In my copy, that is page 162. But who knows in your copy? So check 162, find the Royal Breakfast where we just were, and we're going to look on the very bottom of page 162, right there. Everything Mr. Tibbs told himself must be multiplied by 4. 2 breakfast eggs must become 8. 4 rashers of bacon must become 16. 3 pieces of toast must become 12, and so on. These calculations were immediately passed on to the chef, right? So we're going to do this up on the board right now. So I would like you to write on your piece of paper 2 eggs. 2 breakfast eggs that he would typically feed a regular man, he multiplied by 4. So in the text it said 2 eggs must become 8. Now, you might say, but Miss England, how come he chose to multiply by 4? Well, let's figure that out. If the BFG, if a regular man was 6 feet tall, and the BFG is 24 feet tall, we need to multiply 6 by something to get to 24. So 6 times what is 24? Let's think. 6, 12, 18, 24. 4. 6 feet times 4 is 24. That is why Mr. Tibbs decided to multiply 2 eggs times 4 is 8 eggs. Now in the text right here, it says 4 rashers of bacon, 4 bacon, must become 16. Times something is equal to 16 pieces of bacon. That's a lot of bacon. 4 bacon times, here we multiplied by 4, here we multiplied by 4, so here I'm going to multiply by 4. 4 bacon times 4 is 16 bacon. He also said 3 pieces of toast must become 12, and so on. So I'm going to go 3 toast must become 12. So if 3 was becoming 12, 3 times 4 is what's equal to 12. But some of you, I'll let you catch up. Go ahead and catch up, guys. If you need to, pause the video until you've got this written. This is what it said inside of the BFG's book. But what would happen if you didn't eat this for breakfast? What if instead the BFG came back for lunch? And what typically would have been 1 PBJ, which is peanut butter and jelly, how many would the BFG eat? You'd have to multiply by 4. And let's pretend that you ate 2 of those little bags of chips. You'd have to multiply it by 4. Now, what else would we eat? Those little mini carrots that we eat for lunch. Let's say you ate 10 carrots. How many would the BFG need? I want you to calculate how many PB&Js, how many chips, how many carrots, and then I want 2 more things. What else would you eat for lunch or dinner? What do you eat? How much do you usually eat of it? Then how can you multiply it by 4 to figure out how much the BFG would eat of it? Okay, give that a try.